way they're going to go with it, I'm sure he's going to talk it out with Coach Pao, but we're going to see one of those in the EXP lane. And I don't think he's going to play Edith in the EXP, especially when your matchup is going to be Esmeralda. Miko has been performing well, so it feels like there's no reason to kind of switch that up.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It should be...
Oh,
wow!
Well, alright.
Okay, now this instantly creates some questions. I actually thought maybe he'll play Dirov EXP because it counters Esme, but then we see the Yuzong as well, which seems like the more obvious choice, which does put some pressure onto Zaxa. It means that he has to really roam around and snowball on this.
Yeah, with the Angela to help him, right? That could be kind of the turbocharger that you need on the Dirov. But even then, we saw how late game 1 went. Dirov, not the best hero to skill that late in, but if SMG can get the ball rolling early on, then yes, there's a huge chance that they can close it out before we even get to that stage. But Mpxnsea, they still have one more pick to kind of solidify this, and it's going to be Zap's hero. 3 of his main has been banned out. Do we fall back to the Brody? We're going to find out right now. It's going to be the carry.
Yeah.
To potentially try and bring Mpxnsea to a game 3.
That's the thing, right? If he went for the Brody, there was basically no way he could really participate in these fights. He's just waiting for his team to kind of do all the work and then clean up. But with the carry, now he can be a more proactive member of the party. And worst yet, all these think tanks, and especially for Yuzong, might generally struggle if they don't find that Petrify.
The problem with carry, though, especially in recent seasons, is that even though she's still very strong with her passive, her attack range is so short compared to other marksmen, and there's so much dive potential on the side of SMG, not to mention how much this team likes to dive in the first place. This is going to be a real testament of what Zavs is able to do with his positioning.
Yeah.
And they are going to be playing in a very comfortable and familiar environment as well, with that enchanted support, right? Florin always keeping Zavs healthy. He's going to get the do as well, some extra stats. If anything, I think this would be the game that really puts Mpxnsea in the spotlight if Game 1 hasn't already done it yet.
Totally agree here. With Team SMG, they've got a very strong early game comp with scaling in Sasa as Irithel, but Mpxnsea, man, if it goes into the late game, I don't know how they're going to get through that brick wall.
Well, we came into this expecting 2-0, but I'm going to change my mind. I want a Game 3. It's Game 2 for now, SMG against Mpxnsea. And right off the bat, we're going to see Smooth proxying that wave on the top side, drawing and High. Stormy's going to be by his side, and Angela healing up the Yuzong. Nothing much that High and Ye3 can do.
Yeah, good spacing coming out from Ye3. At the very least, they're making sure that they are winning out on the trades because they know at level 1, there's probably no real reason to actually take this fight. There's a good chance that they don't win it only because the Angela is so nearby.
Having that consistent healing going to be very effective there. As we can see in terms of emblems, nothing too strange. This is going to be Stormy on the Angela, so he's going for a more supportive position once again. A little bit unusual, but not out of the ordinary, as we can see.
There it is, early gang. Sonic is not going to stand a chance this time. Smooth with an easy first blood using the Petrify.
That's so disgusting. The setup coming in from Team SMG to get the ball rolling so early on, 4 minutes into the game.
It's been a long time since we've seen the tear-off jungle, with recent reasons being tank jungle no longer quite as popular as before, and he doesn't quite hold a candle compared to other fighters and assassins. But against Fredrin and Esmeralda, this is a great choice, and we can see that armor shred really tearing into Sonic there.
Oh, Smooth is playing this perfectly right now. He's got the kill in hand, he's already skewed the tides, and now they're going to set up a dive onto Ye3.
There's a Purify. I'm not sure how much that can do for Ye3 though. He's going to be dodging that ultimate from Saxon, not that it matters. Smooth getting the second kill in this game.
Yep, can't do anything about it. He's got Purify and he doesn't have Sprint, so there's no way he can outplay the situation. He just has to take it, but on the opposite end, right? And Link Sabs is doing well with the help of Hawk to make sure that Sasa just doesn't hold the lane accountable and just plays 50-50 and clear the waves and not have to actually interact with the rest of the team.
But I also like that Sasa is doing that here. He knows he's not going to win the lane, but they're not going to completely zone him. Oh, hold on.
Oh, middle lane. They're going to grab High and force his flicker out as well.
At the very least, nobody dies there. Miko already at level 4. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I want to see what Mpxnsea's next move is going to be, knowing that Team SMG already are up 2 kills. The EXP is basically done for until Ye3 is able to get 4 items, or at least a Dominance Ice to go toe-to-toe against Smooth. Worse yet, Bottom side still taking a whole lot of pressure.
The thing is this pressure isn't really resulting in anything because, yes, it's not comfortable for Sasa, but he's still farming perfectly fine. And we have both Hawk and Zav spending all their time in one lane and are actually contributing to potential ganks on the rest of the map because Florin is just going to be staying here babysitting.
It does put... I kind of do want to agree with Sadafa, right? I mean, SMG, they have been able to do what they want so far on the map, and Sasa holding his lane pretty well. All things considered, you also have to give it to Zabs having a way better laning phase than you would expected. Getting outranged in lane, and he just got the corrosion sight, so that's one of the first of the Holy Trinity. He's expecting Stormy. Got a flicker out of that. Miko shows up. The flicker Earth Shatter kind of misses. But Sonic, he's most likely dead. There's no one there to help him. The stolen hard guard from high is an attempt. The Sonic still ends up going down and high now. Forced away. Smooth looking for him, and he'll find it for them. With a Black Dragon Ball, Smooth will give his life for it.
Okay, alright. Slight inefficiency in the movement coming in from Smooth. The fact that he used the Petrify as well was a bit overboard, but here we go.
Again, Hagar used. Hog in massive danger. Just ran down by Sasa. And now Sasa shows up. Zav does not stand a chance.
I just realized what this is. I can't believe I didn't see this during the draft. This is the Armor Shred comp. It's Iridil Durov. There is no defenses on the side of Mpxnsea, and they can run them down with the Angela. SMG are feeling very good about this right now.
And that's why this early game is so important for the side of Team SMG. As soon as they get that first kill, Mpxnsea are in a lot of trouble because there's no real means of stopping it, especially when they're not pulled together. But it's so early on in the game, there's no reason for Mpxnsea to stick his 5.
That's what SMG is taking advantage of right now. They're playing their lanes well. They've already won things out. They're diving again.
And Zav, he's going to go down once more. The Pism Strike from Saksa doing the damage. And my goodness, no armor, no life.
It's just a drive-by. It's just a drive-by. And yet he finally has... he finally has the dominance ice, so now Smooth doesn't get to fully control this lane without any sort of punishment.
This game is now fully in SMG's control. Sonic does get a cheeky steal on the buff, but the goal lane... Oh, hold on.
I mean, how does he get out from this, right? He's going to petrify. He's going to Miko on top of him.
No.
Does have the ultimate. Well, not able to use... He did use it, in fact, but that doesn't do anything.
Can't do much here. Sonic is going to have it really, really rough in this game. He's just a punching bag at this point, and even so, they've got a knife to kind of cut open holes to make sure the sand starts falling out quick.
And compared to the previous game as well, Sonic's not going to survive as long. Sasa, he's confident enough to just dive under their own jungle.
Zav's lovely side step, and then at least find Saksa. The hard guard keeping him alive. Stormy doing a fantastic job, ensuring that his jungle gets up on high. Can't say the same for him. He has the flicker just to get out of dodge.
Man, Miko really knows his distancing here. Wait, hold on.
Immediately find Saksa again. Round number 2, no hard guard. Saksa finally fed over to Mpxnsea. Miko gets the flip onto Year 3. Esmeralda a bit tanky as Sasa goes to work with the heavy crossbows. By the end of the day, Mpxnsea can disengage.
I mean, he did just purchase his Berserker's Fury. He's got some very relevant
That's a lot of
damage.
damage.
Oh, high, nearly going down there. But that's the thing, right? As soon as that Heart Guard is down, there's a very good opportunity for Mpxnsea to actually out-sustain Team SMG, right? Yetri, eventually he's going to start scaling up. But more importantly, Hawk, especially with his ultimate, with true healing as well. It doesn't matter if you have Dominance Ice to reduce the healing. It's just going to completely top up the team.
Yeah, I agree with you. What NC needs to do right now is to be able to delay these fights. Wait until the Heart Guard comes out. If they can, bait out the burst from Sasa as well, because after that SMG will not be able to out-sustain the floor. And the problem is, I think SMG has already predicted this as well. That's why they've been playing so hard and fast from the beginning. What NC needs to play a delayed style is for Yetri and Sonic to be ahead. And right now, they are the furthest thing from that.
I mean, Sonic especially. Yetri, on the other hand, I think he's doing well against School for the time being, despite the early game tragedy, getting dove underneath this tower so early on, pre-4 minutes. But more importantly, I think Mpxnsea, they need to make sure that this mid-tier 1 stays healthy for as long as possible. That way, Team SMG can't just come in from every single angle.
SMG again working the side lanes. Bottom tier 2 is already dead. Top 1, or down to half, thanks to Sasa alone on this era. There's nothing that Zav can do, right? Every time he walks up and tries to clear the wave, he takes massive damage from the crossbows. Mpxnsea, they really want to defend this mid-tier 1 though. Miko is just going to walk right up, and Smooth will use the Black Dragon Form to ensure that this structure falls.
Oh boy. They're just picking them apart. No, Smooth.
Maybe too far forward. This is a kill that they need. Hardguard will be forced out.
Don't go back in
Yetri
there.
now in danger. Hide by his side. Smooth trying to survive for as long as possible.
Oh.
Stolen Eden. It's going to be there. Smooth still trying to get away. Does it burn down? Finally, the flicker from Hide to finish him off. Stormy now left all alone with Miko and the helm. Yetri trying to get away, and he will get out. And to get the armor flip onto Hide. Saksa jumping to the back with a spectral step. Finds the Valentina. 1-for-1 trade.
Wow, nicely done coming in from Sonic, jumping right into Sasa's face, because had Sasa walked past that front line and popped that sprint, it was over for the back line.
It still might be, though. Look at the way that NC is being zoned out of everything. SMG, 8 minutes in, 7,000 net worth lead. This is a complete opposite performance from game number 1. It does seem like this is the team whose strength is in adaptation, understanding what NC is capable of, and instantly going for a draft that completely counteracts the gameplay style that they're comfortable with.
You know, I've heard many quotes, but one that's relevant to this is people who break the rules need to understand what the rules are supposed to be. And in this case, Team SMG, they've been playing such a standard game for so many seasons that looking at Mpxnscea's position, they're like, all right, we know how to get underneath their skin. We know how to start breaking key objectives on the map to get this ball rolling and develop this 8K gold lead.
And it's only going to keep ballooning because the Lord just went over to Team SMG, and Mpxnsea once more finds themselves in the same position, right? At risk of losing at least one inhibitor. SMG just sending up the side waves just like they did in game 1. They're all going to crash at the same time, and Mpxnsea finds nothing outside of the map. Outside of the base, in fact.
Yeah, the hardest part is that right now Sasa, he's got all the crit that he could possibly want. And the worst part for Zaz is that he's not even finished the Trinity build, and he so badly needs a Winds of Nature.
Yeah, it's difficult right now, especially with SMG, and now going to be knocking down the front door.
That Dragon Form used straight to the back. Again, as a diversion, so that Team SMG can get this mid inhibitor. No problem there. Yetri preoccupied with the bottom one, so SMG will get 2 of that structure. And PNC have no choice but to hold this. This is just a very tough position to be in. 10k goal advantage for SMG, 10 minutes in.
They just have to take it. It's so difficult at this point in time. It's great that Smooth is utilizing the Black Dragon form not as an engage tool, but as a zoning tool to get them off, of these turrets, so that Team SMG has more play area to work with. Because Sasa's biggest problem is the fact that yes, he's highly mobile, but if the play area is very tight in these choke points, it's a big issue for. Wait, is he gonna die?
Going for Yetri, he might just go down, right? Gets the shield to keep him alive. Petrify onto Sonic, gets knocked out, and there it is, high in the front. Becomes the Edith himself. They actually shred Smooth. Lovely.
terrible!
Crystal! Sasa ends up dropping Mpxnsea. Once more holds the fort.
Oh, huge play coming in from Hyde. Saves the team and is able to get a huge shutdown onto Sasa at the same time.
That's a 4k goal swing, by the way. 4,000 goal swing with just 2 shutdowns onto SMG.
SMG needs to stop doing this. They get a bit too comfortable once they're in these positions. Yes, they still have a massive lead, but this is the same kind of situation that allowed NC to drag game 1 to 29 minutes long. This has given them the room to breathe they so desperately required. And you can see the goal earned advantage from SMG's own Lord push.
And let me tell you, this time Mpxnsea at least have 1 inhibitor left on the bottom side.
Well, that's true.
Not
that's
doom
true.
and gloom.
It isn't completely doom and gloom, and it's great that it's on the bottom side because Lord is spawning on that top side, and that's something the long lane in this particular case, Mpxnsea, can actually maintain with the help of Year 3, right? Unless we see a full gank on that bottom side, which feels very unlikely because the only way Mpxnsea is going to bounce back is through this Lord, and I don't think Team SMG is going to hand it over for free.
Absolutely not, considering how much control they have right now. The only thing that NC can kind of hope for is to either delay the game long enough that they actually get scaling onto Yetri and Zavs, or that SMG decides to dive into their face again and make a big mistake. And from what we've seen of this team, they do not make the same mistake twice.
Yep. Mpxnsea doesn't walk out. Team SMG secure this Lord, and the best part is that Team SMG knows that Mpxnsea's high ground defense isn't going to be as good.
Do have to take it on the chin, and Team SMG posturing right in front of Mpxnsea's base. The bottom wave was going to help them secure the inhibitor. Mpxnsea again, they have to take all the losses delivered to their doorstep. and just trying to hold this base.
I'm not seeing very good chances for Mpxnsea here. In game number 1, they showed us what they were capable of. In game number 2, it was SMG's turn. And I gotta give such huge props to Coach Pao again. This lineup has so much inherent synergy. So many good hard guard targets, the armor shred, the amount of oppression. And unfortunately, seems like we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer again to see the end of game 2.
But getting oppressed by the pause button, man.
Man, oh man.
It's from SMG side this time.
Okay, at least it's from SMG's side. It's important that they don't have a technical issue or they are lagging in the game, especially when they are on that final push. But come back to what Stafa mentioned, where he has a lot of good targets. Again, I feel like the team is getting way too bold, especially when we saw what was going on when Ye3 was going head-to-head against Smooth with the hard guard. Smooth, by no means necessary, should keep on fighting that.
I mean, I don't blame him though. You like remember
No!
even before the Angela Ling, the Angela Yuzong was that thing back there. Like how many seasons ago was
we
that?
saw it in fact, I think on week 1, right? RSG MY didn't run the same thing.
That's true.
The RSG Yuzong. That was against what? Homeboys, I remember.
Yep. And I don't know. I definitely think that people need to start giving respect over to this Esmeralda. It is a situational pick, and it's great once its counter picks are already gone. The hardest part is especially understanding when you are strong in these fights. And Yuzong, as soon as that dominance ice is already built, even if you do have that shield, you're going to get out-sustained, and it's not worthwhile to waste your time there when you could be looking for bigger things.
Speaking of bigger things, Saksa getting some pretty notable accomplishments right here with his achievement history. 4th place in MPLPH Season 10, 3rd in both the Play Maya tournament as well as the Season 7 qualifier.
Yeah, on the Dirov nonetheless in game 2. So far, astounding performance. I believe he was also the one that called the pause. It seems like the things are ready. Marshall's doing the final check for this. You guys mentioned that the base defense for Mpxnsea not as good in game 2 as it is in game 1, but what are going to be the factors that can allow Mpxnsea to kind of hold the base one more time?
Well, I think a lot of it is just how many abilities can you actually absorb. One of them is specifically from Saksa. That armor shred is such a big deal, because when you start stacking it on top of the Iritho, you start to recognize, hey wait, I don't even have full build, but it feels like I'm hitting like an absolute truck.
Problem is, they don't have enough tools to stop it, and now here comes the engage.
Like Dragon Form with Angela on top. Ye3 needs to focus as much as possible. They use the bloom already. Zab's going to work.
Whoa!
What is Sasa? Of 4 people, Team SMG loses their goal later. The Lord is dead. Mpxnsea again pulling out another clinic in this base defense.
How?
They just do that. I mean, Sasa in particular is really far out of position from the rest of the team. Yes, he does outrange him, but like, you got to respect this light wheel coming in from Zabs.
It pressed sprint, ran in, and died. That's all
How do you
we
keep
can say
making
about
these
it.
mistakes? A player of Sasa's stature should not have the... I literally just said they don't make the same mistakes twice.
You say they, not him.
That's true. I need to be more specific.
Yeah, I gotta apply the cast curse correctly. But so far, well done to Mpxnsea. This buys them a good amount of time, a full minute before the next upcoming Lord. So that means a total of 3 minutes of Mpxnsea of playtime that they get in the Land of Dawn.
I suppose the silver lining is that SMG once more puts Mpxnsea in the same position as game 1. All inhibitors down, with the Lord spawning in a minute in the bottom side.
I don't think that matters much though, because this is the position in game 1 where NC suddenly mounted the comeback, gained the gold lead, and never let go of it until the end of the game. So SMG needs to show more respect here, which is weird because this is a team that always is aware of their limits. It's maybe more props to NC for being able to identify and catch out Sasa even among the pile of bodies that SMG is throwing into their base.
It's a little frustrating, yes, of course, but I think that at this point, Zabs has finally hit his item power spikes, right? He's been farming very patiently. He's died twice for it in a matter of time. The early game basically non-existent for him, and worst yet, Sasa has been getting to play the game for free. So to get this punishment is already a +1 for him.
Just got the Rose Gold media as well. On top of the Winds of Nature, he is going to be able to survive in these fights for longer than SMG would have liked him to. And again, as the game goes on, you not only have Zabs to worry about, you have Ye3, this Esmeralda, also scaling up. It's going to be able to soak up even more damage, eat away at Team SMG's health pool. with them starting on the Lord already, Mpxnsea, they could be creeping in from the bottom side. Go will check them out. The armor shred on the Lord, nothing to be underestimated. Earth Shadow use as well onto Sonic. SMG slowing down this Lord take. Mpxnsea, they're not going to show anyone aside from Sonic.
The biggest key point now for Team SMG, they cannot lose another fight. Now
And
terminate.
Still, Sonic doesn't get knocked out by the Earth Shatter. The Abyssal Strike doesn't take him out. The Bloom keeping him alive for a bit longer, but it still ends up dropping. Yetri uses the Falling Star to get to the back, and now Smooth with the Black Dragon Bomb goes onto Zav instantly with the help of the Hard Guard. They need Zav dead. Zav working away with the Hell Bar with some nature, keeping him alive. Smooth gets the knockup. Yetri in the front, and still Mpxnsea could not find any kills. Lord for SMG.
Smooth, you gotta calm down
He's
there.
playing with fire.
He's like, he's on a tightrope right now. He shouldn't be walking back into a lot of these fights, and yet he does. He sees that Stormy is out there, but what are you gonna do? Posture them off of them? At the very least, they were able to find the kill onto Sonic, but they are looking to end the game rather than play with the Lord.
Yetri is the target. Zav again. Can you pull up another heroic? Sasa trying to work on the crystal, but this time Zav is gonna dash forward to try to take him out. Saksa forced to follow him with a spectral step, dies underneath the crystal, shredded by Zav. Mpxnsea doing it 3 times in a row to defend their base. Unbelievable.
This is sloppy from SMG. I can't believe I'm saying it, but they are making mistakes. Go for the Lord. I understand. Yes, you think, oh, they're already 2 men down. We can push the base. We can end this. But the Lord was free. You could have guaranteed a win there. And
I
now
honestly thought they got the Lord, and wow, apparently not. This has to be Mpxnsea's Lord, right? The knockup is not going to screw this up this time. No Saksa. Smooth, Black Dragon Form. Can you
stop
somehow
them?
make Miracle? No, not this time. Sonic gets the job done. Smooth will have to back off.
This is so frustrating to watch. This is so frustrating. After such a gigantic lead coming out from Team SMG, it has resulted into this. 2 throws in a row. Mpxnsea have found these opportunities. You have to give them credit where credit is due. They took full advantage of this, right? Smooth had many opportunities to get into that backline, used it as a zoning tool, and it got them the lead that they were looking for. But now that it's even, that's not the same story. Full build coming out from Zavs. Yeah, 3 at full build as well. Nobody can really deal with him either.
Things are very hard now for SMG. This is a lineup that they need to run away with the game with, because their scaling will fall off and see.
Oh, looking for Zav. He does have the immortality, the bloom, everything to keep him alive. The stolen Archon from high, doing massive work, but Zav still gets pinned to the ball and takes it down. SMG, they're done with this. Surely the game will end at this point. 3 dead for Mpxnsea, and only Hawk left alive. Team SMG, after countless of catastrophic mistake, they finally pulled it back. With Hawk as the last man watching his base die, SMG gets to celebrate the series win. But man, I gotta tell you, this is probably one of their weakest series we've seen so far.